In this video, we're going to be talking about how to promote church events, part 1. All right, so we had so much information for this video that we actually broke it up into a 2-part series. We're gonna be talking about the 4 steps you need to take to get ready for your event. And if you skip these, you might completely ruin the attendance at your event. And then in part 2, we're gonna be talking about how to pour gasoline on the bonfire and accelerate your results. So let's dive in. So step number 1, before you do anything else, is you actually need to create a target, right? You wanna figure out what exactly is the target that we're aiming for. So a couple years ago, my church did a men's event. Right, so a typical men's event, we would probably have between 50 and 100 men show up. But my pastor challenged me and said, I want 1,000 men to show up to this men's event, which that's crazy, right? At best, that's a 10 to 20x amount of return. So I knew that we'd have to do things a little bit different if we wanted to 10 or 20x the amount of men that we had to that event. So we created a target. I knew, okay, the target is 1,000 men in the room, right? And then I just threw it out there and said, you know what? Man, what if we actually opened this up to churches all over the country, right? Not everybody can put on an event like this. So what if we live streamed it to churches all over the country, and then they could literally have their own event and basically have a watch party at their church and be able to tune into the event. So we set a secondary goal of having 100 churches live stream the event at their church. Now, using the exact framework that I'm about to outline for you, we ended up having over 1,250 men who showed up to the event and 243 churches who signed up and live streamed the event at their church all across the US. So the first thing that you want to do, just like we did, is you want to create a target and figure out what is it that you're trying to hit. For us, it was 1,000 men and 100 churches on the live stream. And the cool thing is, because we had a target and we went hard in the paint, we ended up having over 1,200 men and 243 churches that live streamed the event. All right, number 2, define a win. Right? So once we have a target and we know what it is that we're aiming at, now we need to figure out what is the win. What action do we want people to take? Do we want them to reserve a ticket? Do we want them to plan a visit? Right? In this case, we just wanted people to show up to the men's event. So we created an irresistible hook, and we actually brought in a Navy SEAL to be able to talk to all of the men. And instead of putting the name of our church in the event, we actually called it the Tulsa Navy SEAL Men's Event, because we wanted the emphasis to be on the Navy SEAL and where this was taking place, and not the church that was putting it on. Then we went to step 3, which is build a landing page. Now, if you say more than one thing, then you say nothing at all. So you need to create a custom landing page that only talks about your event. So this isn't your homepage. It's not your about page. It wouldn't even be your men's ministry page. This is literally a page that only talks about the event that you're trying to get people to. So for us, it was the Navy SEAL men's event. And we used pictures and bios and even videos of the Navy SEAL who was coming into town. And we put it all over the landing page and just kept putting over and over again, show up to the Navy SEAL men's event on Friday, March 13th at 7 p.m. Okay, so before I get to my last point on the nuts and bolts of how to set up your Facebook ad, if you're liking this video, will you hit the thumbs up? Okay, so number 4, now that you created a target, defined a win, and built a landing page, now we want to set up a custom Facebook ad that we're going to run to every single person within driving distance of the church. Now, the great news is there are 2.7 billion people on Facebook and 1.8 billion log in every single day. And the average time spent per day is 38 minutes. Right, so imagine if there was a place in your city where every single person went to for at least 38 minutes a day, all you would do is set up shop there and invite people to your event. Well, Mark Zuckerberg has given us that opportunity with Facebook. So we have to show up there. 2.8 billion people, that's like the single largest missions field in the history of the church. All right, so we want to start with Facebook. And the great thing is, because Facebook owns Instagram, we can run all of our Facebook ads on Instagram at no extra charge. So you want to go to facebook.com/ads manager, and you want to set up a targeted Facebook ad campaign. And you simply want to type in the address of your church, and you simply want to create a traffic ad so we can send as much traffic as possible from Facebook to your landing page. Then all you want to do for the targeting is keep it really simple. This is completely counterintuitive, but you don't want to over-target. You actually want to send it to every single person who lives within driving distance of the church between the ages of 18 and 65 plus. Now, the best way to do this is simply to type in the address of your church. Facebook will drop a pin, and then you're going to pull out the radius to whatever driving distance is. Typically, if you are doing an event, you can actually go a little bit farther than normal. So for example, when I run Facebook ads for my church, we run it at about 15 miles. Because in Tulsa, that's about driving distance. Anything more than 15 minutes and people will just find a church closer to home. But for our events, I usually run them as much as 30 and sometimes even 45 miles out. Because people will drive from all over to come to an event if it has the right hook point. And so that's exactly what we did with the Navy SEAL men's event. We dropped the pin on our location. We drew it out 45 miles because I knew that people would drive from all over the state to come hear a Navy SEAL speak. And sure enough, not only did we pull people from all over Oklahoma, we had people drive in from Arkansas, Missouri, and Texas as well, because people started sharing that ad all over with all of their friends and inviting their friends and family. Pretty cool. Now, you might be saying, wait, Abo, this was a men's event. Why would you run it to everybody? Shouldn't you exclude women and just focus on men? Well, you may think that, but you'd actually be wrong. So what I did was I actually ran all of the Facebook ad to men and women because I know that the nature of women is that more women are going to see that ad and then they're going to nudge their husband and say, hey, did you know there's a Navy SEAL men's event coming to Guts Church? Right? That's just the nature of how things work. So if it's a men's event, I knew it was going to be wives and girlfriends who were going to be seeing the ad and then telling their husbands and boyfriends about it, and that's why they would show up. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. A ton of the people who showed up said they didn't actually see our ad on Facebook, that they actually heard about it from their wife or girlfriend. So if it's a men's event, run it to men and women. If it's a women's event, exclude men. They're not going to tell anybody about it. All right, so if you liked part one, you're gonna love part two because we're gonna break down the exact strategies that you can use in order to pour gasoline on the bonfire, accelerate your results, and get a ton of people to your event. All right, so click on the video up here and we'll take you straight to part two.